Right. So let's get started. Let me share my screen again. Yes. Confirm me once my screen is visible. Yes. Cool. Right. So let's get started. So how we're going to do it is first I'm going to tell you how to build the agents. You can ask questions in the chat at the end of the sessions. I'll open it up for Q&A, so you can ask me questions. I'll unmute you guys, right? Just so that people can refer this later. I've kept you all muted, but yeah, I will open up at the end, right? So hi, this is Prasad. I'm one of the senior developer advocates here at Liza, and today we are going to build agents and understand how you can build agents using Liza Studio for your agentic track that we have the Innovac team has introduced for you guys, right? So before we start building, I just wanted to kind of give you a brief get a brief understanding. How many people are here very new to building AI agents? It's fine if you're like first time building it. How many people are very new to building AI agents? You can just write in the chat. And it's completely fine because after today, I think you will be able to build very complex AI agents very easily. Cool. Nice. Okay. Amazing. So this is what you're going to do. Okay. So I just shared a link with you guys, right? Let me also open that link here. Yep. So this is how the session is going to be, right? So this is your certificate, not rewards. So we are going to learn about how to build agents. You are going to deploy the agent. If you want to deploy it right at the session, we are going to give you 1 week of time to kind of do this. You can keep on submitting it. You can post on LinkedIn, and after you post on LinkedIn, you have to tag Lizer, Allied Forums. Uh, very nice. Who is this creative guy in the session? Who is drawing on the screen, guys? Very nice. We'll give you separate time to make drawings. Yeah, coming back, you can tag me. This is my LinkedIn. This is Elite Forums LinkedIn. This is Lizer's LinkedIn. Tag everyone, include the hashtags in your LinkedIn post. And you can take a lot of screenshots during the sessions when I'm building agents, or also include what you are building, right? You can take screenshot of what you have built, write a post about it. So there are two forms you'll submit after this session. One is when you build an agent, you have to submit your agents here. I'll show that towards the end of the session. And to get a certificate after submitting the agent, you have to also post about it on LinkedIn, tag all of us, tag InnovaHack, Lizer AI, Agent Engineer, and fill this form with the LinkedIn post URL, right? The team will verify both, and we will issue a certificate for this session. That is the reason we are issuing certificate is only if you are able to build an AI agent, okay? Not just for attending the session, because we actually want you guys to build an agent. Now, coming back to the presentation, before we move on to the building part, a very important thing is to understand an important thing, right? Whether a certain thing is an agent or not. And we are going to do a very quick game so that people who are new to this actually understand whether to call something an AI agent or not, right? So how do you do that? So when do you call something an agent? So there are like these steps that you need to kind of understand. When it is able to make decisions and choose a particular path rather than just doing what you're saying it to do, it should be able to make a decision on its own. Second thing is, can it take an action, right? Can it call some external tool? Can it send an email or particular do anything or route any query particularly to any particular direction, right? Or does it have multiple step involved, right? Does it kind of do 10 things at once at one thing and not just like, you tell something to do it and comes back with an answer? Or does it use any tool, any memory, any connection? So does it do any all of this, right? So if there is one rule, if it is not able to decide on its own, if it's not able to take action, it is not able to connect to any tools, it is not an agent yet, right? It is just a simple prompt that you give and you get an answer. It is not an agent. Second thing is, you have to yeah so you have to kind of tell me now based on what we learned, right? This is when you call an agent. So now I need answers from you guys in the chat, whether this first thing is an agent or not. Whether this first thing is an agent or not. Renaming 10,000 files. Great. Now that you know, right? Whether the second thing is an agent or not. Summarize 30-page PDF. Whether is it an agent? Yes, we see one yes answer. It is still not an agent. It is just summarizing, right? It is not doing anything. Does handling a support ticket can be considered as an agent? Yes, yes, yes. Amazing. And whether this sort incoming emails is called an agent? Yes or no? No? Why no? Yes? Right. So let's see. So the first two are not an agent, right? And the last two are basically an agent, right? Because when I say sort, they are able to kind of understand the email, sort it in different routes, tag it accordingly, right? So they are going to do all of multi-action things there. So that qualifies an agent. Second thing, now that we know what an agent is, next thing we need to know is what is the difference between a workflow and an agent, right? Again, a very important step when you're building on the agentic part, you need to kind of understand when do you call something as a workflow or when do you call something as an agent. Now, you guys must have built a lot of workflows or heard about a lot of platforms called as N10, Zapier, Make.com. So these are basically workflow builders, right? Now, what do you mean by workflows? There are very two important things that you need to understand that in workflows, you know the sequence, right? Ki after A, B happens, after B, C happens, after C, D happens, right? The flow is very, very set. And you kind of predict what can happen in the next action. That is where we call this is basically what we call as a workflow. Now, a agent is basically where model decides what will happen, right? The LLM basically decides what will happen. You do not know which action will be called next. It can call 5 actions, it can call 7 actions based on the complexity of what you ask it to do and the basis of the model that you use, right? Like right, Gemini itself has Flash, then you have Pro, and you also have more thinking and reasoning capabilities. So when you use those thinking and reasoning models, it kind of thinks a lot, kind of does some complex reasoning around it, comes up with multi-step actions to kind of get to that answer. But whereas Flash kind of comes to that answer very quickly, less steps and everything. So agent, so basically it's like the model deciding it, right? So that is something that can be classified as an agent. Just give me a minute. Sorry for that. Yeah, see, summarizing a PDF is just doing like one task, right? It is just going to kind of give an answer. Basically, what happens is when you're dealing with LLM, you can just it's not kind of deciding what action is to be done. See, if you go to this slide, right, you can maybe understand it more clearly. If it is able to make a decision, decide a path. If it is just taking an action, you cannot call it an agent yet. I'm not saying that it is like the whole thing cannot be called an agent. It's like it is not an agent yet unless it is able to take any action on top of it. Just answering your question is not an agent. If there is no multiple decision making behind it, there is no tools involved in it, no connection involved in it, it does not classify as an agent yet, right? You need to add multiple capabilities even to the summarizer to kind of build, convert that into an agent. I'll come to that. We are going to basically build something around that today, right? Uh, yes. So, right. And you also connect, you also cannot call an LLM step as an agent, right? When you're basically building a workflow, right? And you put like, hey, this is an LLM step, that is not an agent. That is basically a call to an LLM where you kind of send the data and get back a response. You're sending information, getting an answer. That is still does not qualify as an agent yet. Yes, from the LLM only, right? That is the brain. LLMs are the brain, right? So they just, yeah. Now, what is actually inside of an agent, right? There are six blocks. The first three give the capability, and the last three lets you trust it in production, right? This is particularly when you're building with Lizer. So, what are the three things that give them capability? One is the knowledge base. This is one of the part of the agent. Second could be tools, some external, you can say, capabilities to expand the features or uh, functions of your agent. And third is the data connectors. It can be connected to a CSV, it can be connected to a live databases, CRMs, vector databases, and whatever you want to connect, right? Lizer gives you a lot of options to connect. I'll show you. We have a lot of options of databases you can connect with. Now, how do you, and the second part is how do you trust it in production, right? You can add basically guardrails so that none of your personal data or information that is very secure is leaked out. You can observe wherever your agent goes wrong. Like what happens is when you're building agents, and this is like 99% of the times what happens is we as builders, if something is working very correctly, we don't care to see what is going wrong, right? But Lizer observability gives you an option of tracing every small action that your agent is taking, every tool call it makes, basically an execution timeline of how many credits and everything was consumed. I'll show you that as well. So you have very granular control of your agent. And again, evals. Evals is basically you can score it, test it, harden it, kind of run simulations around your agent before it take it to production. And all of this on Lizer platform, the reason we are showing it to you on Lizer platform is you're not stuck basically on Lizer platform. So if you build an agent on Lizer, you get an API which you can just copy paste and use in your full stack project. Because I think most of you people are building like projects. If you want to add an agent, you did not write a code for agent and deploy it somewhere else. You can just come to Lizer, build an agent of Lizer, take an API inference of it, plug that into your production code, and it will still work fine. That is why we are integrating Lizer as a part of your hackathon. So you can build your agents there, call it in your projects, and it will still work amazingly, right? So for today, we have a use case, HR support manager agent. So I'm going to show you how to build manager agent. So manager agent is kind of architecture, an agent architecture where you have one agent that controls multiple sub agents. So we'll learn to kind of create sub agents first, and then we'll basically go and use like a manager agent top of that, right? So now let's go and see how to build one simple agent, right? Now, if you go to the doc, I have added the structure right here. Okay, there's one question: is Liza free to use, or credits or scum free to use? So you get $20. So we have this link, right? Let me explain the doc now that we are going to the studio now. If you come on this doc, we have this UTM link that we have given for Innova Hack. So every new user that comes on the platform with this link will get $20 of credit. And also you will get $20 every month. So suppose this month is ending in next 7 days, right? So if you suppose exhaust all of your $20, on August 1, you will get more $20. So every month you will have $20 in your account, right? So that is, and here $1 is one credit. So you have a lot of credits with you to use it, right? So you have to register with this link. So first step for everyone is to go and complete registration with this link, right? Now we will go on the second step, like how do you build an agentic app or agentic use case, right? For me, that we have selected HR use case. You can basically choose any use case that you want, or any project that you're building on your hackathon track. You can kind of come and think about how do you want to build agent, right? So the important thing about building a very good AI agent is first understanding how the architecture or what all agents you want to build. So that is why the best way to do is my screen not, is my Notion page not visible, guys? It is visible, right? Hush, my screen is visible. I think everyone is able to see. Just check. There might be some issue on your end. Maybe rejoin if you want. Yeah. So if you see here, right, what we are going to do is these are three separate agents and then one manager agent. I have written this down because it makes things easier for me to create. I can just come back to this document. Now, see, the first agent that I'm going to create is an HR support agent. Now, all of these are three separate things. I'll explain you. You will get to understand why. This is like a public facing agent where basically it can analyze a PDF and kind of answer queries particular to that company. I'll tell you the whole process of how you can build that, how to plug in a knowledge base, what all knowledge base is are available. You can basically scrape a website live in the platform. You don't need to have a separate scraper to do it, right? How to add a memory, agent memory to it. Second, this is like because see, this is an agent which any employee call and gets the same answer, right? The second is employee info agent. This will be connected to a MongoDB database, which is like an internal database, right? Here again, we'll have a tool that will connect and be able to get only my information, right? So this is like something that anybody can ask and it will give the same information. This is where I want just information which is relative to me. I'll show you how to connect to a MongoDB and then we'll use CSV database because there we have like all the information that we have for this demo. And I'll show you how the queries work, right? And then a support ticket agent, which will kind of raise a ticket to email on email to an HR. And the flow that we have is this: we will never talk to all three agents separately. Once the whole architecture is done, we will create one manager agent which will control all of these agents, right? And we will not tell it which agent to call when. We will just give it a question. It will decide whether the question should go to this agent, question could go to this agent or this agent. We will just talk to this agent, and the use of manager agent is only to route the info. It will not have any tool or any knowledge base attached. The agent's job is to just intelligently think and understand what is the query and accordingly take decisions of where the question should go, right? Lizer is to store agents. You can actually create agents. You can basically, uh, no, Vidhan, the credits will not roll over. They will kind of get over by the month end. It just comes back to $20. So Lizer is basically a platform to build, govern, deploy, test your and monitor your agent. So you can do everything on the single platform. So once you kind of use this link, and this is also the Discord link for any questions or anything you want to kind of ask. This is a link to connect with me on LinkedIn. So let's go to the platform. This is the link again. If you don't have it, please go and kind of use this link to create your account to get the credits. So yeah, so this is the platform. Yes, the three sub agents will kind of work together, right? But the manager agent is going to control how they work together. They are not going to link three sub agents together. Try creating a new account, Rohit, and you will get $20 by default. Okay. So this is the agent builder. So this is like a conversational agent. You can just talk to it, but we are not going to do it the easy way. We are going to kind of create agents manually, right? Now, there are multiple agents that you can create: a single agent, a managerial agent, a superflow is something like n10, but with more control, with more complexity, with more functionalities. And you can also create voice agents. So if you have 11 labs API and everything, server API, you can just connect here and you can create voice agents as well. For this session, I'm just going to show you agent and managerial agent. And then you have some blueprints. If you want to use already pre-built templates, you can just go and check blueprints and just kind of use it to copy the whole same architecture for your project and build agents, right? On the left side, you will see home. This is where we are. We have agent registry where all of your agents will be. Then we have an agent creation option here, your voice agent, an orchestration option, knowledge base, graph, semantic data model. I'll come to each of these while we create it. Yes, we are just seeing the platform. When we go to the coding part, we will uh, we will kind of go very slow, right? Yeah, we will give a recording of this seminar, right? So people who are kind of attending, right? So first of all, as I mentioned, we are going to build a manager, sorry, a single agent. Now let me also open my Notion dashboard here so I can see here it is the right. Let me just put it to my another screen. Mm, mm. Okay. So the first agent that we are creating is an HR support agent, right? HR, not support agent, let's say HR handbook assistant. Okay. So guys, I might not be able to see chats very frequently since I'm typing. Uh, Manthan, see, what I'll do is I'll let me build this, then you will be able to understand. Because now if I just give you answers, you will get more and more confused, right? So when I start building the agents, a lot of your questions will get answered. And still it's not answered, then we can take up the question. Because if I answer right now, you might get more questions and you get more confused, right? So let's follow that way. Okay. So as I mentioned, the first agent job is to, yeah, to basically read the handbook and kind of answer queries, right? So remember, there are always three things to your agent, right? You'll always have to give a role, a goal, and an instructions. Role basically means what is the role of the role of that agent, right? Goal, again, if you are building a single agent, it is not required. But if you are building a multi-agent architecture, basically you have multiple agents and there is going to be one manager agent. A goal is important because goal defines what is the end outcome for that particular agent, right? So that is very important. And then you have instructions. Now what all things they have to follow, basically what all things an agent has to follow, the steps that they have to do, right? But suppose that I am very new, consider that I am also like you guys, very new to building agents. I just know that, hey, I want to build an agent that can answer my queries from the HR handbook. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tell it. Let me just see if I my whisper flow. Yes, I can just write say that, hey, you are an expert uh, agent that will help me and that will help user answer queries about the HR handbook. Just click to right. So and then what I can just tell and write is the goal is you have to answer user question based on the HR handbook for the company. And if you're not able to answer, just or have any insufficient information, just tell user that you don't have enough information regarding that. Now, what I can do is I can just also copy paste this here. And there are two ways. See, either I can just, if I am say very new to this, I don't know what to do, what to write, right? I can just go on generate and I can tell all of these here and it will kind of ask me question. The prompt builder will kind of ask me questions back and forth and then create a proper structured prompt. Or if you can just give a brief information about your agent like this and click on improve, Liza Studio will automatically come up with a very detailed instruction for your agent to follow, right? Yes. So see, if you kind of the whole idea is, see, you have, why do you want to if we have it involved, the whole motive of building this platform is to build everything at one place. You don't have to go to multiple platforms for everything, right? So why would you want to go to chat gpt and build a prompt? You can do it inside of it directly, right? We have one question, I think that is an interesting question. Let me see. Hmm. Yes, Bhushan, what I just said in the goal is an instruction. I was just seeing if anybody catches that. So what I just said here, right, is basically an instruction, right? I just wanted to copy paste it here. I just said it here. But the goal would be, let me see what it has written. This is not going to be a goal, right? To goal of the agent would be answer user queries based on employee policy clearly. So that is the only, then only you can say goal of the agent, right? And now your agent is done. Now what you can do is, see, you need to understand how the agent works. Now see, I have added role goal instructions. I can go and select models. Now I get all of the frontier models out of it, but again, please be very careful of which models you're using. Do not use very high models for very simple tasks, right? So you get a lot of models out of the box, but you can also bring your own model. Suppose this is like my Google API key I have added here in my models. I've got my own models, so you can configure your custom credentials also. For now, this, let's do GPT 5.4 mini. I am going to kind of update this agent, go to the playground and ask is like, what is the policy for the company? Now, if you see, it is saying that, hey, I do not have enough information about the company leave policy. Can you provide a HR handbook? It means that it does not have enough data, and that is how we wanted our agent to behave, right? And if you see on the right hand side, what I said about traces or understanding how your agent is behaving, I can actually see what all steps were carried when I called this agent, right? So first step, second step, it actually tried checking and then it came back with a response. Now let's fix that. Now what you want to do is we want to basically give it an knowledge base. Now understand what is a knowledge base. Knowledge base is something kind of a repository or not a resource where your agent can kind of query the data from, right? So how do you create a knowledge base? Again, you can do all of those in a single platform, right? So it's like a basic knowledge base. You have, this is some new addition that we have done, one shot knowledge base, right? And then you have a React loop over knowledge base. Currently, we're going to do with one shot knowledge base. I'll show you how to create a new knowledge base. You just go and create from here. You can also do this thing from here, right? But I'll show it how you can do from the agent builder right in one place. So what you're going to do is basically come to create new knowledge base. I'll write Innova KB. This is just for the demo. You can give a description. Again, in the knowledge base, you have multiple options. You have a simple knowledge base. Uh, Now let's understand the differences between this knowledge base, right? For basic, we basically, when you say basic, it is for unstructured data. Remember very clearly, when I say unstructured data, it means PDF, doc, website, copy paste text, everything will go into unstructured data. When you have graph, it means graph databases like vector, Neo4j, all of those will go in GraphDB, right? And semantic data model will basically means anywhere where you have tables like your MongoDB, SQL, CSV, all of that goes into semantic data model. Is this much clear, everyone in the chat? Can I get a yes? Yes, can you? Yeah, very clear the differentiation. If not, I'll repeat again. Basic is for unstructured data like text, websites, PDF, documentation, sample copy paste text, right? Wherever there is no structure to the data. Graph is basically for graph databases where there are like multi relations, graph linking, all of that, right? You have like vector stores for that. Neo4j is one of those where you have VV8, Neo4j, all of those are your graph DBs, right? So that is for that. And semantic data model is anywhere you have tables, columns, and everything. Like you have MongoDB, SQL, even your Excel, CSV, all of that will go into semantic, where you have a schema. Wherever you have schema is called as semantic, right? Wherever you have a structure. Is it clear now? Okay. And yes, guys, again reminding, please take a lot of screenshots. I want to see at least a few LinkedIn posts that you attended this session, tagging Innova Hack and Lizer. That will only help us do more of these sessions with you guys to help you build better agents, right? So you can take screenshots wherever during the session and then post about it on LinkedIn. Moving forward, you can write a description. Uh, Currently, I'm just keeping it. Vector store. You can, these are like by default given vector store. Again, see, if you had to build this by your own, you'll have to create all of this setup by yourself, right? We are giving a lot of things out of the box directly available. I'll just select this. Embedding model is just to kind of convert this into small chunks and store into a, you can say, vector embeddings, right? So this will also convert into smaller chunks. So this is like vectorization of the data, right? So that is something that this embedding model will do. Let me just select the default one again, and I'll create a knowledge base. Now once I come here, right, now since I have selected a basic knowledge base, see what all options I have. I have files which I can upload. I have live source. I have text which I can copy paste, right? So see, file, when I say file, you can, as I mentioned, right, PDF, doc, txt, anything that you can add. Second is what? Add a website. I'll come to that in a bit. Then you have add text. You can just copy paste, or you can add a live source. Now let's see what is a website. So if I want to scrape a website, suppose there's like a documentation website, I can just do docs.lizer.ai, select how many pages I want to kind of crawl in depth of it. What is the chunk overlap? This is something, if you want to like go in detail, you can understand. It is basically, suppose chunk overlap basically means your data is split into multiple parts, and there is some common part that is left in each of the data, so that there is always a linkage. So the context is not missed. For example, suppose there is like 1 to 1000 numbers, and the chunk size is suppose 100. So the chunks will be from 0 to 100, 100 to 200, 200 to 300, right? But if you introduce a chunk overlap, when I say you introduce a chunk overlap, the first chunk would be from 0 to 100. The second chunk would be from 80 to 180. Third chunk would be from 160 to kind of 260. Are you getting the idea how the chunking and overlap happens? Is it clear? Yes. If you have both the knowledge bases, you can add multiple knowledge base also. So we are going to do that. So don't worry about that, right? So then you continue and it will start scrolling. So in case, see, if you had, again, you had to do this by yourself, you will have to see it's done. It's very fast. It's done. The crawl is complete. I can just add it to a knowledge base and it will work. But again, for this particular thing, we are not using our docs. We are going to use a PDF. So, and the similar thing, right? Suppose if you are working with a live website and you want to keep on doing it like a cron job, you want to scroll it every week, scrape it every week. There is some page where you want data every week, right? So you can basically follow the same process that we saw in configuring a website, and then just add an interval. Hey, I want to do this after every 12 hours, and it will automatically come back here after 12 hours, kind of keep scraping the website and add to your knowledge base. For this, what I'm going to do is, let me see, workshops. Yeah. So I'm going to use this Nova employee handbook. Now, again, there are a lot of configurations in Lizer. You get a lot of multiple options. So I'll again explain very, very easily. LLM Sherpa is where you have like PDF parsing and intelligent chunking. It's best for structured documents. Standard is the basic OCR support that you can use for heavy documents. If you have a document where there are image inside of a PDF, and inside of an image there is text which you also want to scrape, that is where you can select Lizer Parse. This is like a multimodal parser that we have created, where you can basically get text out of images, which is a part of a PDF also, right? So that deep level of parsing is possible. For now, I'll just keep whatever is the basic. I'll continue and I'll upload files. Now this is going to be kind of, this is gone, this is chunked, this is, now I can just say uh, salary, sorry, employee benefits. Now see what is happening. This is like a playground. Okay, we have not just yet added it to our agent. We're just testing our knowledge base of how it is able to get queries. Now, if you see, there are a lot of things that are coming, right? 80. Okay, let me just do one thing. Let me also kind of open that up for you. So we can actually see some questions. Let's ask grievance or IT. Let's ask about grievance. I want to actually see. Yes. What recording will send later. We have to get it. Will take some time. But yeah, we send it to the team and they'll circulate it to you. We'll send it to the Innovac team. Right. If you see, right, I'm getting where all this word is available in this particular knowledge base, right, which our agent can query. So agent basically queries like this in chunks, right? Small chunks that we set up. Now, what if I don't want to spend like I don't want this many things. I just want you to come back with chunks which have score more than 80%. So currently, if you see, we have also have chunks which are 78 and 76. Not that relevant, right? I just want chunks which are above 80%. And how many to revert? I just want, hey, I just come with top five or top five which are above 80%. Again, this is something you would want to carefully change. Okay, if you choose very less and there is no relevant data, it will come with like a blank query. Or if you just keep like very high threshold, it will just come with less options. If you keep very low threshold, it will come with vague options, right? So always you'll have to kind of tune what is the percentage match. uh Karthik, this is percentage. If you see right here, 70%, this is configured from here. Score, this is like the score. This is like 80%. 0.80 is 80%. So when I do like this, right, and if I just save this and I just kind of retrieve the same word again, you will see that I won't anymore get this 77%. Now I am getting only one, two, three, four, five matches. All of them are above 80% because I have configured my this retrieval to happen that way. So it is very much comfortable. Sorry, configurable, right? Now, what is this retrieval type? Basic, MMR, and hide. Basic just means, hey, whatever I ask the question, it will go through this and search and come back. MMR, what it will do is, hey, I will search the answer, I will get one answer. I will compare that with another answer. I will compare that with another answer. And this is how I will kind of come back with answers, right? So there are different way of retrieval. So if you see right now, we are only having three matches because we did MMR. So it will only come up answers which are unique, which are something different or have some kind of differentiation in that, right? Now, what happens with hide? It is like hypothetical data embedding. What it does is it will kind of create one answer by itself first, and then it will try to map that answer with the knowledge base. So it will like it will be like, hey, let me first generate what could be a right answer for this question which user is asking, and then take that answer and go to the database and start querying it, right? So you can select based on, hey, what you want it to answer, and accordingly you can use it. It hide actually takes a lot of time because it first creates its own answer, then comes back, right? So it is come back with five new answers. So for now, this I'll just keep it for basic, and that should do, right? So now we have configured this, and I'm going to just close this. We have our database, knowledge base, sorry, here, and we are just going to save it. Now, if you see a knowledge base is added here, always remember to update your agents. Now we are going to go back here and ask what what is the leave policy? Same question, just asking again. Let's see if it's able to answer. If you see right here, right on the right side, what happened is, if you see if they observe this, it actually went to a knowledge base, right? If you see, it actually went to the knowledge base, try to ask this question to the knowledge base, got some chunks from out of it, and then came back and answer it, right? You can trace whatever is happening with your agent. And this is whatever the leave policy is. Now this is coming from your document. Is this much clear, guys? Is this much part clear to you? Yes. Now let's understand one important thing is memory. Okay, let's understand what is memory. This is because this is something you have to add in every agent. Okay, so now suppose, see, we don't have memory enabled. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do I'm going to tell it. I'm just going to use the previous chat. Credits is basically where when you use agent, right? It is consumed. It is the token cost. Okay. Now see, if I have asked it, hey, my name is Prasad. Let's ask what is my name. Hopefully, it should not answer me back. Okay, I think I have memory enabled. Yes. Yeah, I had memory enabled. That's why it was able to answer me back. But let me do that again. Hmm. I'm just showing you all of the possible explanation of the concept so that the second and third agent you will be able to build very quickly, right? So let's tell, hey, my name is Prasad. Last, what is my my bad. See, it is trying to get it from the handbook, but it is not able to answer my name. I just told it my name, it is not able to answer because for this particular question, it will answer me and then it will forget. Now, whatever new question I ask, right, it will answer and forget. It will answer and forget. It will answer and forget. It is not going to keep it inside of memory. So that is where you have to add a memory to it, right? So when you add a memory, you have to configure. Now, see, there are multiple memories. By default, you have Lizer Cognis that is attached. Now, that is why it was able to kind of ask me, sorry, able to answer kind of my name. But again, there is one more edge case around this. Now, let's see if I say my name is Prasad. Guys, I'm not able to see your messages. Is my voice okay? Yes, thank you. So now let's see, right? What is my name? Let's see if it is able to answer. Your name is Prasad, right? Now, what I'll do is I'll start a new session. So every new chat with the agent is a new session. Let's ask this. What is my name here? This is like a new you can say instance with the agent, right? Let's see it is if it is able to see. Even after enabling memory, it was able to answer my question in the same chat, but as soon as I open up a new chat, it is not able to answer. Now, this is also one more edge cases, right? If you are interacting with the agent on multiple session, your agent should have some memory of okay, this was the context like you use with GPT or Gemini, right? It remembers what you spoke in another chats and everything, right? So that is where you have something called as cross session memory. You have to just go and enable it, and now it works fine. But you have a lot of your memory options. You can bring your own memory as well. This is like your own the credentials. You can use Lizer Cognis and save it. Now update it, and all of the information that you chat with an agent will be available across session also, right? So with this, our agent one, let's see if I have all our information for agent one. We did add a knowledge base, we did add a Cognis memory, and that's it. Our agent one is available to use, right? Now what we will do is this is the playground. See, there are three steps: build, play, and deploy. Playground is to test. We did a lot of testing with our agent. Now you can deploy. What I was saying to you was, right, if you want to kind of publish it, you can publish it. If you want to basically just copy, this agent is now live. Okay, when I say now live, you can basically copy this and give to your full stack project. This is now a live agent on the Eliza Studio. You can of course connect to your GitHub also. There is an option to connect to your GitHub and everything stays on Git. You can just copy paste this into your code. It is given, right? Just copy paste this into your code and it will start working. Give some, like you can just copy paste if you want to build suppose a front end and you want agent to handle the back end and come back with the questions and everything. So you can basically build a knowledge base, tools, and everything on Liza. Just copy paste the endpoint, plug it to your front end or whatever code you have, and just query it from there. And it will call to this API and it will answer you back. Right now, why did I show you this? Is because everything that you create on Liza, there are multiple ways to create it. One is the studio, but if you also we also have docs. So if you are a core developer, right? If you want to create agents using docs, also you have all of the APIs. Also, everything has an API endpoint. So like now we created agent, right? So this is how you can create an agent with API. But see, if there's a lot of information to fill, you can just use the studio to build it out. So every action that we will do on Lizer will have an API endpoint to it. So you get maximum freedom to kind of build your agents. So even the knowledge base for that matter, right? Suppose if you want to just interact with knowledge base, if you want to just use the knowledge base, if you don't want to do anything, you don't want to use the agent, you can just copy paste this part. You can just copy paste this inference of the knowledge base and you can just talk to the knowledge base. You can just copy paste this into Postman and try querying it and it will still work. It will come back to Elizer, try to query from that particular knowledge base and give you answers back in Postman. If you want to test, right, you can test that way. So every tool, every connection that you will make will always have a API endpoint to it, right? So Aditya, to your question, that is where we showed the embedding models, right? You have to select an embedding models, how the chunking works. All of that is configurable in the system. So that is where you'll need to have some basic understanding of how chunking works behind the screen. Do the agent needs such can you come like with a better question reframing? Maybe an example would help me understand what you're trying to ask. So this is like the first agent that we have built, right? So now you know a few things how we built agent, right? So I will skip this part very quickly in the next agent that we build. Okay, so now we'll go to creating another agent. So our first agent is done for the equation, right? Now the second agent that we want to build is an employee info agent, and the role is to go and query employee leaves or any details that a question the employee may ask. Right now, this is general. This is particular to an employee. So let's do that. So where was I? Yes. Again, similarly, go to here, create agent. So I can just give a feedback and submit, and then you will get 20 credits more. Just so you get more credits, right? Just give feedback and you will get more credits. Whatever is your honest feedback, right? If you have some suggestions, you can just add it and you will get more and more credits. So let's create another agent. Right. The next agent that we're going to create is employee info agent, right? Now let's give the role. Employee information agent that queries the information about the employee from the given data source and ensures that proper proper information is retrieved only particular to that employee. Now the goal would be answer the queries based on the employee info and the given data source. Now, how I want this agent to function is something that I would want to like give a like a brief thing, right? Hey, I want you to basically always ask if you don't have enough information about the employee, basically ask is like employee ID and always use that employee ID to query the data source and get enough information about the employee. So whenever you don't have any sufficient information, always ask employee to provide more information. Do not query anything that is not related to that particular employee. Always ensure that you are only giving information about that particular employee. Do not hallucinate or come up with your own kind of findings. So again, we will do improve. Yes, I am creating agents and testing it. What is the use of credits? Manthan, whatever I am doing, right, is consuming credits. I will show you. So it's like balance, right? So whenever I talk to an agent, credits are consumed. It gets deducted from the balance right here. I'll show you how that works and how you can basically understand. Now see, I just gave it and I kind of clicked on improve and it came up with this proper thing, right? Now, first thing as I mentioned, right? First thing always, after doing these three things, we have a memory. We will add like cross-session memory to this agent also so that multiple sessions can be handled. And then I'll click on create. As soon as I click create, the agent is available for use. I can again come and use this and my agent is available for use. But again, this is useless agent. It does not have a database. We have particularly told it, ki, hey, we want you to kind of go and connect to a database. Now, how would you do that? Now we have something called as data query. First, we need to configure. See, first of all, you need to go and add your connection. Now, in my case, I'll teach you how to kind of connect. You have data connectors. And as I mentioned, we have a lot of databases. Uh, Harsh, I'm using Whisper Flow for voice prompting. Guys, now I will take your questions after this agent is built, okay? So because then to stop a lot of times, right? So all of these databases are possible to connect. Now, how do you connect is like you have different ways to connect. If you just click on add credential, it will give you options and documentation how you can create connect to those databases. For MongoDB, I already had connected, but I'll show you again how to do that. So for that, what I'll do is delete this connection. Let me start my MongoDB instance. And I just hope, yes, I hope my this screen is visible. So what I will do is I will just copy paste this show connection. No. Copy connection string. I will just use copy connection string. Come to the Liza Studio. Add a new credential. I will just write this InnovaDB. I will add the host name and I can just write employee stable. Now why I'm writing, mm, yeah, I hope my screen is visible. The whole screen is visible. Manthan, I'll answer your questions at the end. Okay, so please wait. Let me just first complete the things and I'll take your questions, right? So this is the table that we had, right? Employees table, and we have these things, right? If you see, we have employee ID, full name, all of that is there, right? So we're just going to kind of trying to query a live database. So this is how you can give your connection string slash employee. These are the required field in MongoDB. It directly connects with a connection string. You did not give all of this separately. And I can just submit and I should get a connection successful message, right? Now that we have this, let's go to our agent registry again and try to add. Okay, let me just duplicate this. We might need it again, duplicate. So now that we have done database connection, see, always understand one thing, we have done a connection. Now we need to add that connection to a data model, right? So what we are going to do is we are going to go into knowledge base and a data model. Like we write the similar thing we did for knowledge base, right? First we created a knowledge base, then added documents to it. Similarly, where we here will create a data model and then we'll add the database to it. So we'll go and create a data semantic data model. How do you do that is create a new semantic data model. You also had that same option in the agent builder also, right? But I'm just showing you how to do it from a separate place now. You also have that option from here. Where did it go? Okay, sorry. It's here, data query, but you'll have to create a separate semantic data model. But now I'm showing you how you can do it from a different place from here, from knowledge base semantic data model. And then I'll click on create a new semantic data model. I'll write Innova model. Description not required, vector store, you can keep it by default. This is how the data is stored in a vector format internally. Embedding model, the same explanation, just to define how the embedding works. Database configuration, you might have to create a new DB. Oh, we did have a connector, right? Let's see which database did we have. Need to kind of refresh this. Yeah, InnovaDB is here. Now documentation agent. Now this documentation is basically a very simple thing. It is basically what it will do is it will basically give a basic description to your columns, nothing else. That is the only job. You can just create it. It will just ask what is the schema name. You can just give anything. Select a very minimal uh, model, okay, which is like a very fast. And again, one thing I forgot to mention is wherever you're building agents, right? Wherever you're building agents, if you're not able to understand which agent to choose, you can always choose a auto model pick, which is the best for the agent. Or you can also see compare models like, hey, this is the comparison table of which we also have fable 5 now, by the way. So which is like what is the intelligence score, what is the speed, what is the cost of that model, what is the context, does it have a web search capability, yes or no, what is the best purpose for the agent, right? So all of this is available right here. So that is something will help you. So again, choose very basic model and select it. What it will do, I'll show you. Let's let it just do it. Innova model, select. And if you see, right, the MongoDB thing that I've created is right here. So I'll just click on configure right now. And this table, right, the description table is something that is done by that schema agent. What it basically did, it basically went to all of those tables, came up with a description and added it here for basic understanding. And you can of course change it whenever you want and just add. You can also preview the table. It will fetch live data from your MongoDB, right? So now I don't have to wire the code and everything to talk to basically wire my AI agents to a MongoDB database, right? And now when I add this to save, it will be added as a semantic data model. It does take some time to add it. We'll wait for it to, yes. Now it is added, right? What I can do is I can just close this. I can go back to the agent wherever we had it. Click on data query, select a data model, just refresh this one since we did not refresh the page. And now we have the Innova model. Can just click on add. Now it's added. Now we can just go and complete the agent. Our second agent, let's see what else is required to add in the agent. Add a data connector MongoDB, that's done. And then we'll remove it and add CSV database like I mentioned, right? Just for this example. So let me close this. We'll go to the playground and ask, hey, how many, uh, what is my, what question can we ask it? What is my hire date? What is my hire date and bonus? What is the employee ID? Is EMP004, EMP014. Now let's see what the agent is doing, okay? Now it is asking me employee ID as it should be, right? So I am just giving it my employee ID. Now let's see what it does, and then we'll analyze the logs also a bit. Now see, it is showing my hire date is this, my bonus percentage is this. It came up with this from the database, right? Now let's figure out where did it actually go to the database. Is memory, user message. Mm, this memory process start. Yep. This is if you see, right, it actually went to the database to get the query, and it basically took out the first 5 rows to check it first. I think it figured out in that itself and then came back with the answer. So this is where you can actually see how it's kind of you know querying the data from the database and coming back with the answer to answer you back. So you can basically check the logs directly from here. Again, similarly, you can just copy paste this inference and use it in your once you just need to copy paste this particular thing once, and then you can kind of make changes here and there. Our second agent also done. Here, what we've done is added a memory and a data query. In the first thing, we had added a knowledge base, simple basic knowledge base and a memory, right? So second agent also done. What is temperature and top P? I would like someone from the audience to answer that. Guys, I have already seen questions. Please don't spam the questions. If I've already seen the question, I'll cover that in a while, as I mentioned, right? So please be patient on that part. Don't spam the questions again and again. I would want anyone from the audience to answer what is temperature and top P, if anybody knows. Yep. So let's go to our third agent. Or sorry, we had to add the CSV, right? Now that we don't need this because I just wanted to show you how that works, right? I'm removing the data query. Instead, what I'm going to add is like another semantic data model. If you come here in connections and data connectors, save and exit. Let me just save. You will also see a file upload option. Okay, here I've already created a knowledge base called as, sorry, I've already uploaded a CSV. I'll just show you how that CSV looks like just for the sake of time. Uh, this looks like this. So it has basically the employee ID, name, dummy data again, band, date of joining, employee status, how many leaves and everything. Very comprehensive dummy database, right? What is the data classification access that they have? What is the band? How much allowance do they have? All of this is there, right? Ideally, this should be on a database, but this is, for example, I had kept it separate and all of this is loaded here. How do you do that? Is again, come here, just upload a file. That's it. Give the name and upload a file. Once that is uploaded, it will sit right here like this. And then what you can do is, again, go to the semantic data model, go to this. Sorry, I just created one NovaDB right here. It's like a file upload. And this is the table. Same process, right? So whenever you are kind of creating a semantic data model, if I have to show you, right? If I just go and create a semantic data model, I'll get an option. So this is the Nova employee DB. So whatever semantic databases are there, right? CSV, SQL, and everything will show up here. Same process, give the name and everything. Just select the CSV file that you have uploaded, the database that you created with the CSV file, and just select it here. And then it will start showing it here. So this is called the NovaDB that we have. So we are going to add that to our agent. So for that, what we are going to do is, let's go back to the agent. Here, instead of data query, what I'm going to add is our CSV file because the NovaDB. Same. Since it's a semantic data model, I've added it here. Just update it. That's done. And I can just ask the same question again. Let's ask what is what is my allowance band and data access I have. Now I think it, if since we had it already added in memory, employee ID NB 0001. This is from the database, okay? This is from the CSV which I showed you. See, it came up, hey, your band is 3, your meal allowance is 2200, your internal allowance is 0, and your data access is L4 restricted. All of this coming from our CSV file automatically. Is this much part clear, guys? Whatever built till now? Yes? Cool. Now let's go to the last agent and then we'll build a manager agent to complete the whole flow, right? So let's save this. Again, just a reminder, you can take a lot of screenshots and keep ready for your post that you're going to do post this session, tagging, a hack, Elizer, me, right? And Elite forums also. So please follow that thing. Second, two agents done. Let's create one more agent. Is the agent what it should do? This agent particularly is a support ticket agent. So we'll write HR support ticket agent. Expert HR ticket support agent to basically raise a ticket in case the employee queries are not answered or does not get proper response or sufficient clarity. The goal is to raise a ticket to the HR email if the user queries are not answered. Review and analyze the queries of the user. If the user is not getting sufficient uh, explanation, please ask user permission to raise a ticket to the support, HR support. The email that I want you to use fixed is prasad@lizer.ai. Do not add anyone in CC. Do not add. Uh, so the email should also go to prasad@lizer.ai and from prasad@lizer.ai. Now, why did I ask my email just for demo purpose, right? I don't want to kind of send spam emails here. So again, we'll go and improve the explanation. Cool. Yeah, so ticket recipient will be Prasad at Ledger. Of course, it will be sent from whatever agent connection I'm doing, right? Now I'll go and add again the memory to it. Create. Agent done. Agent is done. Role goal instruction set. Ready to play. But it will still not be able to send agent because it does not have capability. And if you remember, the first thing that we learned is basically how do you add more capabilities. So I'll come back to here where we add tools to your agent, right? So if you come to the left side, we saw knowledge base, we saw all of this. If you come down here more, we have connections, where you have tools. We saw data connectors, right? Then we have tools. If you go in tools, you can basically connect a lot of tools, right? So you can also connect your MCPs. If you guys know how to connect MCPs, it's very simple. Just add like a custom MCP server, give the name, give the URL of your MCP, and if there is an auth or API key that your MCP needs to add, you just give it and it will connect, right? We can also do custom tooling. Again, a little bit advanced for now, but if you guys know it, very easy to do. Just add like a, if there's an open API schema, just like for example, I did for fake store. Fake store API does have this open API schema, right? So I can just copy paste it. Yeah, this open API schema, I just copy paste the JSON, copy it, come back here, copy paste it here, and then add it. And that is how all of these fake store APIs are available to me for use with agent, right? So that is the easiest way to do it. Uh, for now, I have just connected with Composio. You will also see an option, right? Connect with Composio and a lot of your tools will be available. If you see, we have this Composio, Search, Perplexity, Notion, open source. Then we have Teams, Slack, Excel, Telegram. A lot of connections are available here. This is how your agent can basically connect to all of these tools, right? So for now, what I've done is I have connected my calendar and Gmail. So how it works is I'll just show you with you just need to click on connect. You also have Instagram and everything. So a lot of tools are available for you to connect. You just need to go and connect Gmail, add credentials, and it will basically ask you to, yeah, it will basically ask you to just sign in with your Google account, and then you can test connection, see whether it's working correctly, yes or no, right? So once that is done, your tool is connected. Basically just give a credential name. So I'll just do Prasad, and it will ask me to do a sign in, right? This is the process, nothing else. If I do sign in, it will just connect. I have already connected it, so I'm not doing it again. I hope this is clear. Yep. So then what we'll do is we'll go to the tools and just add the connector. Let's search Gmail, and I'll add Gmail. Uh, Use required credentials. We will use send email. We want to send an email. You have multiple options. You have all of these actions. You can basically create like a threaded support agent also. So there is like an option. You'll have to kind of read a little bit more about how these things work, a little bit advanced, but for this example, I'm just keeping it very simple for you guys, right? So Gmail send agent, add tool, and update. Now let's see what else we are doing. Yeah, three things, right? Raise a ticket on email to HR and add a tool Gmail. That's it. Our third agent is also done. Now let's test it since we are doing right. I am not feeling well. I want to request a leave from 24th of July to 26th of July. Please raise a request to HR. See, now it is confirming because that is how I mentioned it to do, right? I just don't want it to go abruptly and raise a request. Now, if you see, it did call. It did call some in. It some did some calling, right? Where it is, it called a tool, a Gmail tool. Now here you would want to add some information about the user, right? I want to improve my agent. I missed out on one thing while building. It did not ask my employee ID. How will it know that which employee is asking it, right? What I can ask is, hey, I want to basically kind of follow. I want to ask it my employee ID. I can give it here. But I want to see if there is an intelligent way that when we are creating that managerial workflow, can it understand, okay, this is the sequence and the same data has to flow to the support agent. That is why I have not given it here, right? This the job of this agent is to just raise a support ticket, right? It should not have access to the employee database. If you now understand how we are dealing with agents, right? Every agent, there is something. If I think everybody is into development, right? And you must have learned about this single responsibility principle. You guys remember what is like a single responsibility principle? Do you remember what is a single responsibility principle, guys, in the chat? No. Okay. Single responsibility principle means that everything should have just one specific task to do, right? You should not complex things at once. We did not ask our agent to do everything at once, right? What we did was gave three different agents, three different tasks. And now we are going to have one manager agent to kind of talk to all of these things. Every agent is like a master of one task. Our agent one, if you see here, what it does is it has access to the employee handbook, and basically anybody can, all employees can talk to that agent, and it will give everyone the same answer. The second agent is an employee info agent that is basically specific to me. It will always ask me my employee ID and give me the answer based on my employee ID, right? Third is support ticket agent. It does not have access to the support database. Sorry, it does not have access to the knowledge base. It does not have access to the employee information. The only job it has to raise a ticket. Is it clear now how we have distributed tasks across the agents? There is no interconnectivity at all between these three agents. Yes. Now what we will do is we will go and create a manager agent. Now the only job of manager agent to do is route. कि hey तुम इधर जाओ, that's it, nothing else it will do. Then we will see the magic of how agentic orchestration works, right? So let's create one more agent. Okay, did I miss anything? Mhm. For anyone who's asking how to create an agent, can just follow now, right? So the name is going to be HR support manager agent. Now the role is basically going to be a router, right? So you are a manager agent that will help route queries to appropriate agent and ensure that the user gets proper resolution to their queries. Your goal is to properly route queries to appropriate agents. Ensure that you are properly routing queries to appropriate agent, ensuring that exact information is passed through and user gets appropriate answer to their queries. Nothing is missed out and there is no error in the routing. Always check if the user is satisfied with the resolution. If not, please repeat the process and work more on your routing. Done. Here, we will just add it memory. Let's see what we have told, what we have decided to do. No tools or no knowledge base, nothing. We will not do anything with that thing. So just added a memory to it so it remembers what it is doing, right? And just save it. That's it. Our manager agent is done. Now, how do you make it a manager agent? Because this is only how we created all the sub agents also, right? So what we can do is you see an option down here, right? So if you want to add sub agents to it, you can add it from here. You can select all of these agents and it will become a sub agent. But this is okay. This is like a normal way. I like to do it the fun way. What I can do is I can go to agent registry. Where is this? Lizer manager. Orchestrate. Right? The orchestration, the agentic orchestration will happen now. What I will do is I will add one knowledge. My bad. Opened up a old. Yes. So I just added my one agent. This is the manager agent, right? Just look at how I am going to wire it up. I showed you one way where you can just basically connect it by adding it one below another. This is like a little bit fun way, right? So if you see, it has a connection. This is like the first agent that we did. It has the database. Okay, looks like something is missing. Let's save these changes first. And let's first connect this. I think we did miss out on something. I will come back to this page again. Let me connect this here. This is one agent. This is, yeah, I'm not defining the sequence. I'm just joining the dots, right? And this is the second agent, employee info agent. And I just save it, right? What I will do is now let's go to individual agent and see what is happening with that agent. Employee info agent has knowledge data query, correct? This is correct. Then let's go to the support agent. Let's see if it has the tools connected. Yeah, see, I think it we kind of did not save it. I had a doubt that time when we were doing it. Save it. Let's go and check the diagram again. Yeah, now it's perfect. If you see, this is like the send agent. It has a tool connected to it, a Gmail send tool. This has, okay, now this thing I think did not save agents or what. There, let me just refresh this. There are only four agents. Where are there five agents? This is one agent, second agent, third agent, fourth agent. Four agents only, no? We don't have a fifth agent, right? Yeah, we have a knowledge base also here. Right now, what we are going to do is we are going to can talk to this manager agent right from here also, right? Or like we do for all agents, we can go to agent registry. I think they are pushing some update for the studio. So that is where the connections are going off. Mm, yep. I'll go to playground again. See, if I have now a manager agent, I can just copy the API from here. And when I talk to this agent via API, it will internally talk to all the three agents. I'm not worried about how it will talk, right? So what I can ask is, what are the leave policies for the company and How many pending leaves do I have? Now, if you see what question I'm asking it, it is going to first query with the first agent. It should automatically come to the second agent because I am asking my leaves. And then I'll ask it to raise a ticket also. Let's see if it is able to do this. See, now it is called HR Handbook Assistant first. Calling fast, very fast. So that is why I have to trace it. It is come back with, see, it called the HR Handbook Assistant automatically. But I did not give it my employee ID in the first prompt, right? So what it came up, hey, as per the company policies, this is the leaves that you have. This is the leave request rules, how you can submit. For your pending leave count, I do not have enough information. I would need your employee ID to access the leave records, right? So I just say my emp ID is NB 0001. Now it will kind of call the tool accordingly, and see, it called the tool and it is trying to figure out from the database the it will see, now it went to the employee info agent. If you see here, right, now it came back with my data. Hey, this is the current thing. I did not have it pending balance recorded as this employee in the available data because you're not maintaining this, right? I want to apply for a sick leave. Can you raise a request to HR? Okay, I don't know why I'm not typing. Not well. I want to take a leave from 24th July to 26th of July. So now it is giving me a draft. Now, since I had asked it for confirmation, it will always ask me a confirmation. If you did not want it to ask a confirmation, you can just let it send. And it will basically go and send the email on behalf of you also. It is called the Gmail send tool and done. It should be sent and it should pop up in my email in a bit. See, now it has come up, ki, hey, this is like a HR support ticket leave request. This is the uh, thing. The employees approved the ticket submission. Please confirm once created. Is this clear? Did we see? We did not link it. It automatically understood how to take my data from each agent to each agent. Is the flow now clear to you guys? I think most of the queries that you guys were having at the start should be cleared by now. Yes. Now, very important thing that I mentioned, right? Now you know, now you have understood how to build agents and everything. Now let's understand more important things, right? When if you have, I think most of the you guys have your skills, right? So we also support skills and you can plug those skills into your agents. So let me just pull up some agent. So if you want to agent to follow a particular skill set, like basically follow a particular format, a set of rules and everything which you can repeat, you can kind of have write it to your skill. Like I had one agent that I was helping to write documentations, but I had a format that I wanted it to follow and I did not want to give it in an instruction. I wanted it to be repeatable, right? So I converted it into a skill and I created like a module guide, right? So you have like a lot of skills that we have already in the already here. You can bring your own skills. You can import it directly. Like if you have a skill file, you can do that, or you can import it from GitHub, right? You can just add a skill.md file or a zip file. And most of the skills are available here, like Slack GIF convert creator or a PPTX creator, PDF creator, front-end design creator, canvas design, brand guidelines creator. All of those are available, right? And you can add those to your agents. Coming to the traces part, a very important thing that is important when you are working with agents, right? When I mentioned that you can track everything that your agent is doing. Now you guys are also asking me, hey, how much, what is the credits, right? So the query that we raised, right? Let's go back. this thing, I think. Yeah. Let's talk about this one particular thing, right? I asked the agent to, hey, I want to apply for a sick leave and do this, right? It cost us 0.0156 credits. That one query cost us 0.0156 credits, and you're going to get $20 to use, right, for a month. And then once you give the feedback, you get 20 more. You have $40, and I think more than enough to build agents and test it out. But again, select your models appropriately. Don't use like Fable 5 or like GPT 5.6 to do some simple task, right? How much duration did your agent take? How much tokens were consumed, input and output tokens? How did your agent follow it, right? So see, add message, get message, it called the agent orchestrator, it went to the HR support agent. See, if you can basically follow everything your agent is doing, right? So this is the level of visibility you get, how your agent was calling the tools and everything. That is the level of tracing you can do with AI agents, right? And you can basically also analyze like your things and everything. All of those informations are available here. So this was basically most of it. You can of course go to the docs, and we have a lot of tutors on the university, so you can check that out. So with that, I'll come back to the main page again. We have completed the second step. I told you how to deploy. Yes, let me show you how to deploy. So I'll take this agent. What I can do is three options. I can also publish it to the App Store if I want, right? Or I can just share it with my team members who can see the agent and everything, right? So there is no, once you like can use the agent only, you can't change, right? So what I can do is I can just give like a view only access to one of my team members, or I can continue to launch it. When I say publicly to App Store, it will be added to the Lizer App Store and anybody can use it. So that is one thing. Or what you need to do is create an agent, deploy it, come to this playground button, take this URL, copy this URL, go here. We have this submit your agents tab, right? Once you create the agent, and if you're creating a manager agent, we need only the URL of the manager agent. We don't need multiple agents, right? So in our case, since our manager agent, what this particular manager agent, right? What I would do is I would go to this particular agent. I would go to the playground tab, copy paste this, come to the form, write my name. So we'll be issuing a digital certificate once you have published an agent, right? Uh, Digital name, your email, where the certificate will arrive, your LinkedIn profile, your agent name, whatever agent you have built, right? So, and then what does the agent do? We also want to understand why you have built an agent. What does the agent do? The agent URL will come here like this. Screenshot of the agent. Basically, you can do screenshots of this page, how you build that agent, all of that, right? So you can add screenshots of your multiple agents if you have. Uh, and then we will repost, kind of use that photos somewhere. So you have to agree to this consent. That is form number one. Second form which you need to do is once you have done the agent submission, or you can also, what you can do is you can kind of do the step 5 first. That's fine. You can do the step 5 first, maybe today only if you have taken screenshots. I'll send the group photo that we took in a while. So what you need to do is uh, write a post about what you learned in today's session and mention that it is a part of the Innovac hackathon. Okay, that we learned about Lizer Studio. We built agents on Lizer. You can tag me what all you learned, what all we built. Uh, you instead of what all we built, you can write about what all features you learned about agent building, right? You can add a screenshot of this session that you would have taken. Tag Lizer AI properly. Okay, it should be tagged. Elite Forum should be tagged. Uh, you need not, if you have not created, because you are a part of the hackathon, you did not put your agent URL right now because you are going to create, I think, tomorrow onwards and in the next week. So you can skip this part, but in the hashtags you have to use ta- 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 ta, Innova hack. Yes. And then we had the project submission form also, right? So let me just copy paste this. So you can complete the Lizer, you can complete the LinkedIn post today, right? Tag Lizer AI. We have given the links to everything in the doc. This is pretty simple form. Your name, your email address, and the link of your post. Do not give your profile link post. Okay, we need the LinkedIn post URL. So two things to do. This is the let me just open Notion only, and you can write about it on. Very nice. Okay, right. So get a certificate. This is step one. Step two. So for deadline for this is will be decided by the Innova Hack team by when you can. This can be related to your project submission also. This can be something you are building just to understand about agent building also, right? Because I think the problem statement is something that they will give as per their timeline. So for now, I think you can go and just write about a LinkedIn post about what you learned today. And then when you're building your AI agents as a part of your solution, that is when you can come back and submit your agents here, not your complete project. Okay. Complete project submission is something that Innova Hack submission team formed, whatever the process is, they will tell. This is just for the agents that we learned how to build. You'll submit when you're building for your hackathon, not now, right? But you need to complete this thing. Maybe this will like we'll have deadline for this as tomorrow 9 p.m. So we will just close the form by 9 p.m. and see how many LinkedIn posts we have, and then based on those, whoever completes the agent submission, we'll just see the common emails and then give out certificates, right? So you can connect with me on LinkedIn. This is my LinkedIn. I'll just put it in the chat. Google form link and everything is all available in the Notion doc, which I gave. The team of Innova Hacks will also share it with you. Also shared it with you, right? So that is one thing. Yes, you can connect with me, uh, and anything that you want to learn about agent building. Another thing before I move off is whatever you learned right now, right? If you want to kind of bring this to your city or college, we are having this agent engineering movement that we are doing. We are doing these agent sessions everywhere in every city, every college, every community that we are running. We have a lot of chapters live and some abroad also. So what you need to do is come and vote for it. If you don't see your city on the map, you can just go and add your city, select a country and add your city, and then get people to vote. We need 100 vote for a city to go live, and then we will start hosting events in those cities. So this is one more thing that if you want, and if you want to teach someone about agent building also, you can do that, right? I'm sending the link of that as well. So with that, uh, thank you so much for joining the session. I hope you like this. Uh, Let me know in the chat if you actually learned something about agent building, yes or no. Uh, how much would you rate this session out of 1 to 10? So it helps me also improve how we build, right? So yes, looking to your feedback in the chat. And all the best for whatever solutions you are building. We have introduced the Lizer Agent API track where you can build agents and include those in your projects. The use cases and everything, problem statements will be shared by the Innova Hack team as and when time comes. But all the best to everyone who is building. And for the finale, I'll see you guys. Whoever gets selected, we'll meet in person also. Right. Thanks a lot, everyone. All the best. I think the round one starts tomorrow. So all the best. Keep building crazy things and keep posting about it. That is important, right? Let other people also know that what you're building. Yes, a person with zero coding knowledge can build agent. Today we did not use any coding, right? I just spoke to it. So I just like you just need to know where things are and when to use where, right? That is only thing that will come with practice. So please do that. See you guys. Thank you so much. Bye bye.